Celebrities who tried to disappear. They had everything. Fame, power, money, influence. And then, they vanished. Not because they failed. Not because the world stopped watching. But because being seen became dangerous. Some walked away at the peak of success. Some erased themselves to survive. Some disappeared quietly, while the spotlight kept searching. What happens when the cost of fame becomes too high? When applause turns into pressure and visibility becomes a prison. This is not a series about downfall. This is a series about escape. From Johnny Depp's retreat into isolation, to Keanu Reeves' refusal to play the celebrity game. From Dave Chappelle walking away from millions, to Britney Spears fighting erasure in plain sight. These are the stories they didn't want headlines for. The moments when fame stopped being a dream and became something to run from. Because sometimes, the most powerful move a celebrity can make is to disappear. Welcome to Celebrity Unscreened. This is celebrities who tried to disappear. Johnny Depp, when fame became a place he needed to escape. Johnny Depp didn't disappear because Hollywood rejected him. He disappeared because Hollywood wouldn't let him breathe. For decades, Johnny Depp was everywhere. Blockbusters. Red carpets. Iconic characters. He wasn't just famous. He was consumed by the spotlight. And slowly, it started to feel like a trap. Johnny Depp admired writers like J.D. Salinger. Artists who walked away. Who chose silence over spectacle. Fame, to him, wasn't validation. It was intrusion. As public scrutiny intensified, he avoided interviews. Retreated into private compounds. Surrounded himself with fewer people. Not to disappear completely, but to protect what was left of himself. When his personal life became public theater, the disappearance accelerated. Courtrooms replaced movie sets. Headlines replaced scripts. And Johnny pulled back even further. This wasn't hiding. It was survival. He didn't want to be known anymore. He wanted to be left alone. Disappearing doesn't erase pain. It just quiets the noise. Johnny traded applause for isolation. And chose silence over spectacle. Johnny Depp retreated to escape attention. The next celebrity took a different path. He stayed famous, but refused to participate. Up next, Keanu Reeves. Famous, but never available. Johnny Depp ran from the spotlight. Keanu Reeves simply refused to stand in it. Keanu Reeves is one of the most recognizable faces on Earth. And yet, he is rarely seen. No constant interviews. No celebrity drama. No social media performance. Just absence. While Hollywood built larger versions of itself, Keanu went the opposite direction. Public transport. Simple clothes. Quiet routines. Not as a stunt. As a choice. Loss shaped him. Tragedy taught him something fame couldn't fix: attention doesn't heal pain. So he pulled back. Keanu didn't vanish physically. He vanished emotionally. No access. No spectacle. No mythology. He stayed present. Without being consumed. In an industry built on exposure. Refusal is rebellion. Keanu's disappearance is subtle, but intentional. Keanu disappeared quietly. The next celebrity vanished loudly and shocked the entire industry. Up next, Dave Chappelle. Number 3, Dave Chappelle. The day he walked away from everything, Keanu Reeves refused the spotlight. Dave Chappelle turned his back on it. Brain the peak before the vanishing. At the height of his career, Dave Chappelle had it all. A cultural phenomenon. A hit show. A reported $50 million deal. Then, without warning, he disappeared. Globe showing Europe, Africa, the sudden exit, no farewell tour. No press conference. No explanation. One day he was the face of comedy. The next, he was gone. Blackheart why he walked away. Dave didn't leave because of money. He left because of control. The jokes didn't feel like his anymore. The laughter felt wrong. Fame was distorting meaning. Tornado silence AS statement. For years, Dave said almost nothing. The industry speculated. The public guessed. But the silence was intentional. Puzzle piece disappearance AS power. Walking away wasn't weakness. It was leverage. He chose obscurity over compromise. Candle the return on his terms when Dave came back. It wasn't to reclaim fame. It was to reclaim ownership. Dave Chappelle disappeared to regain control. The next artist disappeared. As an act of rebellion. Up next. Prince. Number 4, Prince. When silence became rebellion, Dave Chappelle walked away to reclaim control. Prince never left. He simply closed the door. Brain fame without access. Prince was everywhere. And nowhere. He dominated music charts while denying the world access to himself. No explanations. No openness. No compliance. Blackheart privacy AS a weapon. Prince understood something early. Visibility is vulnerability. So he limited it. Fewer interviews. No media dependence. Total creative control. Tornado the symbol ERA. When the industry tried to own him, Prince erased himself. A name replaced by a symbol. Unsearchable. Unpronounceable. Untouchable. Puzzle piece disappearing in full view. Prince didn't vanish physically. He vanished legally and culturally. A disappearing act in plain sight. Candle the cost of total control. Silence protects. But it isolates. Prince kept the world out. Even when connection was needed. Prince disappeared to protect ownership. The next disappearance wasn't chosen. It was forced. Up next. Britney Spears. Say when ready, backhand index pointing right, proceed with Britney Spears, episode 5, this series keeps getting deeper. Proceed with Britney Spears, episode 5. This is the emotional core of the series, disappearance as control, silence as captivity. Handled carefully, powerfully, and respectfully. Clapperboard episode 5, Britney Spears, when disappearing wasn't a choice. Movie camera opening transition, from Prince, Prince disappeared to protect himself. Britney Spears, was made to disappear. Brain fame before consent. Britney didn't grow into fame. Fame grew around her. A child turned into a global product before she had boundaries, privacy, or control. She was visible everywhere. Except to herself. Blackheart the moment everything changed. When pressure became unbearable, the world didn't step back. It stepped in. Decisions were taken from her. Voice replaced by supervision. Freedom traded for management. Britney didn't vanish from the spotlight. She vanished inside it. Tornado erasure versus escape. This wasn't retreat. This was erasure. Public appearances without agency. Silence without choice. Life lived under observation. Puzzle piece why her disappearance felt different. Fans noticed something missing. Not music. Not fame. Autonomy. Candle the fight. To reappear when Britney finally spoke. It wasn't dramatic. It was devastating. Disappearance had a cost. Britney's disappearance was enforced. The next celebrity chose disappearance completely. And never came back. Up next. Rick Moranis. This series keeps getting deeper. Proceed with Britney Spears, episode 5. This is the emotional core of the series, disappearance as control, silence as captivity. Handled carefully, powerfully, and respectfully. Number 5, Britney Spears, when disappearing wasn't a choice. Prince disappeared to protect himself. Britney Spears, was made to disappear. Brain fame before consent. Britney didn't grow into fame. Fame grew around her. A child turned into a global product before she had boundaries, privacy, or control. She was visible everywhere. Except to herself. Blackheart the moment everything changed. When pressure became unbearable, the world didn't step back. It stepped in. Decisions were taken from her. Voice replaced by supervision. Freedom traded for management. Britney didn't vanish from the spotlight. She vanished inside it. Tornado erasure versus escape. This wasn't retreat. This was erasure. Public appearances without agency. Silence without choice. Life lived under observation. Puzzle piece why her disappearance felt different. Fans noticed something missing. Not music. Not fame. Autonomy. Candle the fight to reappear when Britney finally spoke. It wasn't dramatic. It was devastating. Disappearance had a cost. Britney's disappearance was enforced. The next celebrity chose disappearance completely. And never came back. Up next. Rick Moranis. Number 6. Rick Moranis, the man who walked away and never looked back. Britney Spears tried to reclaim her life. Rick Moranis made a decision most celebrities never do. He left. And stayed gone. Brain fame without ambition. In the late 80s and 90s, Rick Moranis was everywhere. Beloved comedies. Box office hits. A recognizable, trusted face. Hollywood expected more. Rick didn't. Blackheart the quiet exit. There was no scandal. No breakdown. No announcement. He simply stopped showing up. Offers came in. Roles waited. Rick said no. Tornado why he disappeared. Life intervened. Family needed him more than fame ever could. And Rick made a choice Hollywood rarely sees. He prioritized being present over being famous. Puzzle piece disappearance as values. This wasn't burnout. It was clarity. He didn't reject acting. He rejected the cost. Candle the rarest ending. Rick Moranis didn't return for relevance. He didn't rebrand. He didn't explain himself. He just lived. Some celebrities disappear because they're pushed. Some because they're overwhelmed. And some because they finally realize what matters. If you could walk away from everything, would you? Number 7. Sinéad O'Connor when telling the truth made her vanish. Rick Moranis walked away quietly. Sinéad O'Connor was pushed out loudly. Brain a voice too powerful to ignore. Sinéad didn't chase fame. Fame found her. A singular voice. Raw emotion. Unfiltered honesty. She wasn't designed for celebrity. She was designed for truth. Blackheart the moment that changed everything. When Sinéad spoke out, the industry turned on her. Not for talent. Not for failure. But for defiance. She challenged institutions others feared to name. Tornado blacklisted, not broken after that moment. Radio silence replaced radio play. Invitations vanished, support evaporated. She didn't retreat. She was removed. Puzzle piece self-exile as survival. Sinéad didn't beg to return. She stepped away. From stages that punished honesty. From systems that demanded obedience. Isolation became protection. Candle the cost of speaking too soon. History caught up later. Truth resurfaced. But damage had already been done. Sinéad paid the price for being early. Sinéad O'Connor disappeared for telling the truth. The next disappearance came from success itself. One book. One legacy. Then silence. Up next. Harper Lee. Number 8. Harper Lee, the author who vanished after perfection. Sinéad O'Connor disappeared after speaking the truth. Harper Lee disappeared after saying everything in a single book. Brain success that arrived too fast. Harper Lee wasn't chasing fame. She was telling a story. Then To Kill a Mockingbird exploded. Awards. Praise. A Pulitzer Prize. And suddenly, the world wanted more. Blackheart the pressure of perfection, but how do you follow perfection? Every expectation became a burden. Every question felt invasive. Harper Lee didn't fear failure. She feared repetition. Tornado choosing silence instead of feeding the machine. She stepped away. No interviews. No public appearances. No explanations. She returned to a private life in Alabama. Puzzle piece disappearance as artistic integrity. Harper Lee believed some stories are told once, and that forcing more can ruin the truth. Silence preserved meaning. Candle the legacy of absence. Her disappearance became part of her myth. A writer remembered as much for restraint as for brilliance. Harper Lee vanished after success. The next celebrity vanished before the world could let go. Up next, Greta Garbo. They didn't disappear because they failed. They disappeared because fame demanded too much. Some walked away quietly. Some erased themselves to survive. Johnny Depp's isolation, Keanu Reeves' refusal, Dave Chappelle's rebellion, Britney Spears' autonomy fight. Fame is not freedom. Visibility is not power. Sometimes the bravest act is to vanish. These stories reveal what fame conceals. If this changed how you see fame, like the video. Subscribe to Celebrity Unscreened. Wait until you see what comes next.